Senator Bill Hagerty joining us now to react to this. Senator, I got to tell you, I'm reading these tweets, and it's the most predictable thing in the world from the left. Take a crisis, make it an excuse to regulate and to spend more money.
That's exactly right. But when you think about it, it's government policies that have created the crisis. Just take a look at what happened in California back in 2020. University of California researchers estimated that the emissions from the wildfires in 2020, again, bad forest management policies there created by the left in California, in 1 year, 2020, those emissions from wildfires doubled all of the emission savings that occurred from 2003 to 2019 in California. That's 16 years worth of forest management policies. We're seeing the same thing happen in Canada right now.
Senator, I'm from California, and I'm acutely aware of some of those bad policies that you talk about as well. I do want to switch topics with you, if you'll let me. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, he's fighting back, saying that he's going to be challenging the SEC for, quote, clarity on the crypto lawsuit after the SEC sued his company this week. How are you thinking about the SEC's lawsuits this week?
He absolutely should be pushing back. You know, this is reminiscent of what happened to Matt Taibbi when the IRS visited his home the day he was coming to testify. You know, the day that Coinbase is coming to testify before the House Ag Committee, this suit is dropped. I think it's definitely an effort to intimidate. It's Gary Gensler's effort to try to get ahead of this, to construct everything as if it's a security so the SEC can take control. But this is very damaging to the marketplace. Look, we have great innovators in America. And what seems clear to me is that financial regulators in America are trying to push this sort of digital innovation offshore to other countries, leaving us way behind.
Senator, just really quickly on this, on that point in particular, I get very concerned about the government trying to usurp digital currencies because they not only have an interest in being the monopoly player in currency, but also because these central bank digital currencies can become a method of tracking, of finding out what you're doing, where you're spending your money.
Absolutely.
That makes me very nervous, and I see what Gensler doing as a strong step down that road.
Yeah, he's finally started to say the silent part out loud. That is exactly where I think this is headed. You know, they prefer the central bank digital currency. He's basically saying there's no need for, you know, other digital currencies that we're talking about, that they're coming in, they're calling securities just so they can come and charge, you know, Coinbase in arrears. You think about the hypocrisy here. Just over 2 years ago, the SEC approved Coinbase's IPO. Coinbase explained their business model, they explained their staking program. The SEC approved all of that. Now they're turning around and saying this is illegal activity. Again, I think there's an ulterior motive here, and I think you just articulated it.
And Senator, here, as we have to wrap up our interview, I just wanted to pivot once again, if that's okay. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that China is building a U.S. spying facility just next door to us in Cuba. Just quickly, we wanted your thoughts on how you think the administration should respond to Beijing here.
The administration needs to wake up. There are calls in this administration to reach out with open arms to Cuba, to embrace them. Look, Cuba's not our friend if they're doing a deal like this with China. China has demonstrated its intent time and time again. This agreement with Cuba, just another chapter in this in terms of wanting to spy on us. But if you think about it, you know, the Chinese police stations that were found in New York and other cities across America, the spy balloon that floated over our nation, and we have an administration that won't release the FBI report. Again, this administration is standing from a position of weakness. They're adopting a posture of photo op diplomacy, where they don't want to offend the Chinese so they can have some sort of high-level meeting and photo op, rather than disclosing China's malevolent behavior and standing up strong. The Trump White House demonstrated that strength is what China appreciates. We need to be standing up to the CCP at every turn.
All right, good point there. Thank you so much, Senator Hagerty there from Tennessee for us. Thank you.